It's not often that we have a lens that I think is going to be a game changer for the industry, but in my hand I have the Sigma 50mm DG-DN f1.2 lens. It's part of their art series and it's a sister lens of the 85mm. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the Sigma brand, the 85mm art lens from Sigma has been in every filmmaker's kit bag for as long as I can remember. A lot of the time they'll shoot native with Sony primes or Canon primes or Panasonic primes, and then they'll have the 85 art lens. So to have the 50-1.2 come out could be revolutionary. Now, I'm going to go and find out a little bit more about this whilst I shoot, but first let's tell you about the specs. The 50-1.2 comes in 2 different mounts, so they've released it for Sony E-mount and Panasonic L-mount. Now, the lens itself has 17 elements in 12 groups. It has a declickable aperture ring, which I know everybody's a big fan of, if we can get that in there as well. And I'm sure it takes beautiful photos, but really what people are going to be talking about is the bokeh for video. So it has 13 rounded diaphragm blades, which makes the bokeh really creamy and beautiful. It's what we like to see from their art series lenses, alongside other really good primes in the market for a similar camera or a similar field. And then alongside that, it's also got the HLA motors that we expect to see in their art series lenses. Now, one of my favourite things about this lens is that it's coming in at one of the lightest in the market for what it is. And so it's 745 grams. Now, at the moment, I would say you'd be hard pressed to find another prime lens with this quality at this price to come in at that weight. And if you're a person that shoots with primes, obviously every filmmaker complains about their back, it's definitely going to help you out. The final thing I want to tell you at this present moment is that for photography, this is also going to make a beautiful 50mm addition to your bag. If you're a street photographer, if you're looking for something light, easy to shoot with, but keeping that crisp, beautiful feeling, this might be the lens for you. And did we mention that it's also about 400 to 600 pounds cheaper than market rate at the moment for other lenses in its category. I have really enjoyed using this lens, which is no real surprise considering that it's a 50mm and that I shoot street photography. But that being said, our filmmaker has also really enjoyed using this lens. The bokeh is really smooth, it's really creamy. Usually he shoots with Sony primes and this has slotted right in his bag without us really noticing the difference. Alongside that, the declickable aperture ring has really given us a bit of an advantage. Not all lenses have that these days, and it is quite nice to have. The minimum focusing distance is 40 centimeters, which is quite good. The only thing I would say about prime lenses is that I always feel like I need another lens with me because it just doesn't give me the flexibility and the diversity of shooting that I like to shoot with. It's light and it's cheap, but the biggest feature for me is that they have dropped that tiny bit of aperture. So we're now 1.2 instead of 1.4. And 1.2 makes a really big difference because filmmakers all over the world will now love this lens. It makes it really cinematic, it makes it easy to get beautiful shots. And although obviously I believe our filmmaker is a wonderfully talented man, I also know that the lens has something to do with it. Finally, my last opinion on the lens, which I feel like we have to talk about, is that it is just beautiful looking. It's got the matte design that Sigma put on their art lenses, so it feels really nice. It's really professional, it feels high quality. It's weighty enough that I feel like it's a real contender for a good lens in my kit bag. It makes me feel like a professional, but it's still a lot lighter than some of the other lenses in its category. So do I think you should buy it? Probably. It is fantastic. And if you haven't used the Sigma art lenses, maybe give them a go because they are truly beautiful. Thank you for joining us for this first look. I've been Tiffany, we've been Wex, and we will see you in the next video.